Hey there, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking at positioning this week at DTL, and today specifically we're looking at positioning at the net when playing doubles. So we got to start off with just your starting position. In this case, Mark's my partner, he's serving. I'm going to be starting at the net. Keep this really simple. I mean, you really don't want too big of a gray area on your starting spot when your server is ready to rock. And that would be simply that if I were to draw an X through the service box that I am standing in, if I can find myself somewhere right near the middle of that X, I'm going to say right about there, I think I'm in a great spot to help out my server cover a lot of those first volleys, okay? Because we got two extremes when Mark serves. He can either go out wide, and you know, I'm not going to worry too much if my opponent hits a down the line winner on the double sideline. So on that serve, I'm probably coming over one step full, all right? Because at that point, I can step and reach. I've almost got the entire alley covered. Coming back to the center of that X, the other extreme would be he serves right down the tee. You know, at that point, I really only need to be right about there. So you can see I've got a really nice amount of court coverage being in the very center of this service box. So that would be the starting position. Now he's served it in, and the point gets going, and now we're in full court. This is where things start to open up in terms of that lateral shifting or that lateral positioning. So Mark, come on in here. He's just hit a nice server approach shot. And let's take this first ball, for example. I get my racket on that serve he just hit down the tee, and I go into the doubles alley with my volley, okay? Now, as you can see, Mark followed that ball, and I stayed home. I stayed on the kind of the middle of my X, maybe one step over. The biggest rule in doubles in our book is that we don't leave a big lane right up the middle of the court. That should be the easiest shot for our opponents from any position on the court to hit to, is right up the center of the court. So by Mark shifting over, following our hitter to that side, and me staying in my spot, we've just given up the easiest ball to our opponent. So it is my job off that volley to come over here and get at least my right foot on that center sideline. So we're in this position. That guy's now hitting a backhand, and you might be saying, well, Brady, you came too far. Absolutely not. I've got the middle clamp down. Keep in mind, these are not static positions. You do not shift into this spot and say, okay, now I've shifted, where's the ball? These are positions to cover the highest percentage of shot, but it's our job to still track the tennis ball. So if it goes down the line, Mark can still make a move. If it comes between us, one of us makes a move. If it comes right at me, great. You're thinking, well, you've left a lot of court out here, Brady. Well, yeah, of course, because that ball takes pretty long to travel from that side of the court to this side. So long as I read that it's a cross-court ball, I've got time to leave that shift position and go over here and cut this cross-court ball off. From that spot, with where this opponent hit from, you can see what a small sliver of tennis court we've left them. And it's a pretty ridiculous angle they'd have to pull off to beat the two of us in that shift. The same would be the other way. Our opponents are out there on the deuce side pretty wide. I come over, Mark's got that middle covered. He's now the guy that's making sure he's not static on a cross-court ball. He'll pop back in, cut it off. We're in a good spot there, okay? Let me tie that off with a bow real quick. I've loved this thought. If Mark and I have a rope tied around our waist and it's nice and tight between us, once I volley that ball that way and he starts going, go for it, Mark. He's pulled me with that rope, okay? And we got this nice tight rope between us. And now I've got to shift back, and I've pulled Mark with me. That there shouldn't be slack in that line. We're moving together, hopefully at the same speed and the same distance. That gives us the highest percentage of court to cover. Now, for all you more advanced players out there that maybe have that down or close to having that down, it's this idea of staggering these two players vertically. And I love this idea because obviously one of us at some point has to get in. We're never starting a doubles point side by side. Mark just served, I'm already at net, and this idea as he comes in is, hey, how do we make sure as a doubles team where we're both at the net to cover the lob? Because most teams out there are thinking, oh God, they're both up. Let's go up and over these guys. So if Mark comes in, notices that I'm an aggressive player and I'm a little more up here on top of the net, he's obviously in because we want him volleying, but we've left a little distance. I'd say max maybe about 6 feet. We don't need it to be massive. But having a gap vertically between the two of us means that now if they put up a good lob over my head that I can't get, Mark has a little better head start to go back and cover because he wasn't in as tight as I was, all right? And it would be the same for me. If I see Mark race in, goes and gets himself a volley up pretty close to the net, and the point's not over, you see me, I might shift back just a little because he's tight to the net. A good team over there is going to recognize, okay, next ball go over Mark. Now I've got a little bit of a staggered head start to go cover the lob, okay? So that would be the vertical positioning that you might want to incorporate once you have that lateral shifting down. Overwhelmingly, the biggest rule, do not leave a huge gap between you and your partner at the net. If you find yourselves both up, which we're hoping you do, leaving a big gap through the middle is a recipe to get beat and probably make the two of us think, oh, maybe we should play at the baseline, which no way, all right? So that's all that we got for you today. Hope that was super helpful. Please click like below this video. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. As well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those really helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well. We'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lessons.